Hello and welcome to the announcement of the results of the 2026 student elections at the Highlands and Islands Students Association, HISA, where students from across UHI have been voting for their new student officers for the year 2026 to 2027. I'm Simon Varwell and I'm a member of staff at HISA. I've also been appointed by HISA's Board of Trustees to be the Deputy Returning Officer in the elections. That means it's my job to ensure that the elections are run in a free and fair manner. I'm happy to declare that the elections have indeed been free and fair during the nomination period, the campaigning period, and this week's voting period. That means I'm able to formally declare the results that follow. But first, a bit of background information and some thanks. This year's voting took place from Monday the 9th of March to Thursday the 12th of March. The total turnout was 859, which is 3.78% of the UHI student population. At the same time, we held a referendum to approve our proposed revised articles and schedules. The result of that will be at the end of this video. But for now, on to our student elections. We had voting for our two cross-campus officer positions, the President and Vice President Education, plus our local officers at most UHI partners. We're not electing a local officer at Solmarostig, which has its own local students' association, and at Highland Theological College, students are represented directly by the President and Vice President Education from the coming year. Meanwhile, there were no nominations received for the role of Deputy President for UHI Shetland or the Deputy President for UHI North Western Hebrides North, and the one candidate for UHI North Western Hebrides West was disqualified for a breach of the election rules. For those three positions, we will hold a by-election soon. Check on our website in the coming weeks for more details about that. Finally, before the results, some thanks. The student elections are the biggest democratic event of the year for HISA, open to the tens of thousands of UHI students across an area the size of Belgium and beyond. It's been a huge task, therefore, to promote the opportunity to be a candidate to all our students. And so, a huge thank you to my colleagues in the HISA staff team at campuses across the Highlands and Islands for their hard work. Thanks to colleagues who have been directly involved in running the elections, especially Paul Stalker, our Insight and Democracy Coordinator, and our wonderful communications team. Thanks also to the management of UHI and its partners who have helped get word out to students and encouraged them to take part. Finally, a massive thanks to all the candidates and their supporters. Our many candidates represented a diversity of backgrounds, interests, and views about the UHI student experience, and they travelled across many UHI campuses and campaigned hard online to encourage students to vote. Elections are nothing without an energetic campaign by candidates, so well done and thank you to them all. And now for the results of our 2026 student elections. These results will also be on our website. See the link in the description below. For our elections, we've used the single transferable vote, which allows for preferential voting and the elimination of the bottom candidate until one candidate has achieved enough votes that they can't be caught. The results that follow include all candidates that were eligible at the close of voting. Firstly, the role of President. At Stage 1, reopen nominations for Oliver Sweeney, 317, Phoebe Willimont, 268, Aaron Armstrong, 111. Ron was eliminated and preferences redistributed. In Stage 2, there was no change. Oliver Sweeney, 317, Phoebe Willimont, 268, Aaron Armstrong, 111. Aaron Armstrong was eliminated and preferences redistributed. In Stage 3, Oliver Sweeney, 338, Phoebe Willimont, 278. Therefore, Oliver Sweeney is elected as President. For the role of Vice President Education, in Stage 1, reopen nominations 5, Craig Ward, 120, Helen Baker, 118, Maxwell Chima, 144, Andy Garrity, 252. Ron was eliminated and preferences redistributed. In Stage 2, Craig Ward, 120, Helen Baker, 118, Maxwell Chima, 144, Andy Garrity, 253. Helen Baker was eliminated and preferences redistributed. In Stage 3, Craig Ward, 128, Maxwell Chima, 151, Andy Garrity, 261. Craig Ward was eliminated and preferences redistributed. In Stage 4, Maxwell Chima 172, Andy Garrity 282. Therefore, Andy Garrity is elected Vice President Education. The role of Deputy President Argyle. Stage 1. Reopen nominations 0. Che Chung Tang, 12. Maria Dunlop, 9. Lucille Bon, 5. Ron was obviously eliminated and Lucille Bon was eliminated and preferences redistributed. Stage 2. Che Chung Tang, 12. Maria Dunlop, 10. Therefore, Che Chung Tang is elected Deputy President Argyle. The role of Deputy President Inverness. Stage 1. Reopen nominations 1. Chloe Young, 97. Therefore, Chloe Young is elected Deputy President Inverness. The role of Deputy President Murray. Stage 1. Reopen nominations 1. Emily Hay, 37. Emmy Taylor, 53. Callum Stepien, 57. Ron was eliminated, but there were no preferences redistributed, so in Stage 2, Emma Lee Hay was eliminated and preferences redistributed. Stage 3, Emmy Taylor, 56, Callum Stepien, 62. Therefore, Callum Stepien is elected Deputy President Murray. The role of Deputy President North Western Hebrides. Stage 1, reopen nominations 0. Ren Hawthorne, 21. Alistair MacLeod, 66. Therefore, Alistair MacLeod is elected Deputy President North Western Hebrides. The role of Deputy President Orkney. Stage 1. Reopen nominations 2. Esme-Melia McKenna, 31. Therefore, Esme-Melia McKenna is elected Deputy President Orkney. The role of Deputy President Perth. Stage 1. Reopen nominations 5. Lorraine Ross, 126. Alexandra Payton, 138. Therefore, Alexandra Payton is elected Deputy President Perth. Finally, the role of Deputy President Scottish Association for Marine Science, or SAMS. Stage 1. Reopen nominations 1. Merlin Farrell, 66. Therefore, Merlin Farrell is elected Deputy President SAMS. That concludes our results for the student elections. Congratulations to all our winners, who will take up their roles on the 1st of July. Our thanks and best wishes for the future to all the other candidates. Please visit the HISA website for the full results, and there's a link in the description below this video. As I said earlier in this video, we held a referendum in the same voting period asking students to approve our proposed revised articles and schedules. The result of this was as follows: for 200, against 1, abstain 19. While this is a clear indication of student preference, it did not achieve our referendum quorum of 400. Therefore, HISA's president will make a recommendation to our trustee board to hold an all-student meeting in due course to ratify the articles and schedules. There's a link in the description below to explain more about the referendum result. And that concludes the declarations. Thank you very much for watching.